And welcome to your view. Of course, on Thursdays, we look at the week that was. What an interesting and very, very hectic week, starting, of course, with the Springboks touring Cape Town and PE and you name it, and then, of course, ending with a strike that is about to happen at South African Airways. Let's take a look at some of the things that made headlines, at least that are interesting to look at. Of course, we've introduced a segment on Thursdays called the Scoundrel of the Week. And the scoundrel, the bloody scoundrel this week is the Domineer, Angus Beckham. Let's take a listen at what he had to say.
I'm calling all intercessors everywhere. Please pray. Intercede for our beloved South Africa. By faith, we have booked the Loftus Versfeld Rugby Stadium, the bastion of Afrikanerdom, in our beloved South Africa. We'll be holding a meeting on the 1st of February 2020. It will be called Stand Up for Jesus. Everybody is welcome, as always, to our meetings. But this time, the emphasis will be on the Afrikaner nation. We are going to call out to God, remembering that only two nations in the world have ever been in covenant with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They are the Jewish people and the Afrikaans people. That is a fact.
Bloody racist scoundrel there, Domineer Beckham. He said he has repented, and we've said, if you have so much repented, why did you not take questions at your press conference? They lie. Because if you lie, you must come and answer. To say, what exactly did you mean when you say the Afrikaners are superior? That's what you mean. The Afrikaners and Jews are superior. Baga the blacks who, were the origins of Christianity, or baga everybody else who has the cradle of humankind. Domineer, ye lich. Right? Anyway, a friend of mine was telling me who works for the Auditor General, bringing to my attention a story I wasn't aware of, that the Auditor General had to withdraw, I think a couple of days ago, his staff from the Nelson Mandela Bay because they were being threatened by the scoundrels there who are busy stealing money of the people of Islam, of the Eastern Cape, the people of the Nelson Mandela Bay. Shameless stuff. This is Nelson Mandela Bay. It's a municipality named after Nelson Mandela. And a Chapter 9 institution has to withdraw its staff from this municipality because of the scoundrels who are threatening fire and brimstone at people who are, we all know what they're going to find. They're going to find theft. No. They don't even think twice. So they join the gallery of scoundrels this week. It's really bad that an office such as that of the Auditor General has to flee a place because of the stench of theft that is in that place. You got to hang yourselves in shame. And I hope that the general, whose mayor is the one who's probably wreaking havoc there, is going to do something about this. What is Bobani going to do? What is General Holomisa going to do about this scandalous situation? Especially that the UDM is the first one to say that, they're on a ticket of anti-corruption and whatever. The general is making a lot of noise. A lot of noise there. The PIC is the one who's running around exposing people, as exposing the IEC not so long ago. Commendable stuff. But what's happening in your backyard, General? What is your Bobani doing to force the Auditor General of this country to withdraw staff from a municipality because that staff is being threatened? It's a bloody shame. And then, of course, the week also kicked off with terrible news of people being killed and shot at in an ANC Youth League meeting. And that triggered the whole issue of whether or not we just have to give up now on just moral compass in the ANC, even in the youngest of the members. And we, of course, on Sunday had a roundtable here where the spokesperson of the Youth League task team just said that they are just throwing their hands in the air. In fact, they're going to cancel what they call assemblies that they have been holding around the country. And it brings a big issue of whether or not the ANC is failing or is giving up on dealing with integrity amongst its ranks. And then, as if that was not enough, the Minister of Water Affairs, who also happens to be an NEC member, Lindiwe Sisulu, said what all of us have been saying, and we were considered to be mad, we were considered to be crazy, that the ANC's Integrity Commission is toothless. No man. And of course, it's not something that is far-fetched. If you consider that that Integrity Committee has existed since 2012, try and tell me who has it found guilty and who has it chased out of the ANC because that person gave the ANC a bad name. It is yet to just call Ismagashule to come and answer about the criminal allegations that are in a thick book called Gangster State. They are yet to call Mahashule. They are yet to suggest, even mildly, that he must stay at home for a while the ANC figures out how it's going to deal with a general secretary who has allegations of this nature against him. It's bad what has happened to the ANC in as far as integrity is concerned. It's terrible, and that's why maybe people find refuge. They find refuge in a Springbok weed. Say, oh, maybe let's grab at any straw just to have unity. And I don't blame him at all. Because he has something to say about this in Parliament. Let's take a listen.
EFF has long called for total decolonization of our public symbols. This underlies our inability to join in the fake celebration of the Springboks, because the Springbok is a sign that cannot be whitewashed. It stands in parallel continuity with the stem, entrenching white supremacy in our society. That is why the rugby team in question is white dominated. It is a perfect reflection that white people have successfully resisted change in our country for the last 25 years. Creating a situation where black people live as though they are a minority in this country, when in fact we are a majority. They try to achieve this through the tricameral parliament and the Bantu style. That is why they ask us to be happy for being integrated, accommodated, included in their white-dominated associations. People agree that rugby has not transformed, and it is not about to transform. So what exactly are we celebrating? It is only us. Is it only us who remember that the Springboks' purity had been kept by creating an inferior team known as the Leopards in order to distinguish them from the lily-white Springboks?
Yeah, Mr. Dr. Ndozi there, hot under the collar. But the masses were happy, man. The masses were happy. People who were in the town, the hometown of Siya Police were ecstatic. Take a look at this.
Yo, Papa, Tiziva Ramnandi. We are proud of Siam. Ikamala Keri Pelele Ngusi Tanda. Police Siam Tanda. We love him.
Siam Tanda. Now, listen. And we've invited Dr. Ndlozi to come and talk to us next week, I think he's raising a very important debate, right? And we need to attend to that debate. It doesn't take away from the Springboks' victory, which we must all celebrate. It doesn't take away from it. It only spares us into a conversation, a national conversation about how do we sustain a victory like that? How do we sustain a transformation trajectory? Indeed, we've got to ask ourselves a question. Would Siya Kolisi been where he is now should he have not left his school? Should he not left his school to go to a prestigious school? Should he not have left his school where there was hardly a rugby field or a soccer field to a school which was well-resourced? And I think once we deal with that, in 4 years' time, in 8 years, about the Springboks being white-dominated in a country that's 90% blacks. 20 Dr. Ndozi raising quite an important issue. But people in PE, hey, we're out in this. Siyamthanda. And of course, Siyamthanda. Thank you so much. And of course, congratulations further to the Springboks and all of the glory that they have restored to South African rugby. And everybody wrote them off, just merely 18 months ago to say, hey, these guys are in a Springboks. They just wrote them off. They're going to lose, let them go. And as soon as they win, hey, you are too wide. Tomorrow, a strike at South African Airways may disrupt some of your own plans. Spokesperson of SA, Tadi. Tadi means thunder. Yeah, so he's going to thunder. Tadi. All right? He's going to be talking to us now. And of course, I'll also be joined by Unati Hena, who is an analyst who wrote a piece about how disruptive this kind of strike and the whole SAA fiasco can be to our economy. So I'll be joined by those two guests now at the bottom of this hour. Let's take a break now.